Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Coleman Livestock Company's storage building in town at our home in Humboldt. And this video on our channel, the West Tennessee Shepherd, is about the inevitable thing that always happens when you lamb. You always wind up with some bottle babies. We almost didn't have any so far. These are the only two. This is Oreo right here, the little black and white one, and this is Peanut Butter. They're sisters, and we wound up having them, or they became bottle babies because their mother had mastitis and couldn't produce milk, which makes the mamas will get down. They'll be real depressed and say to themselves, and they can't make milk. And so, which her mastitis turned into milk fever. We talked to the vet, consulted with the vet over the weekend, did everything the vet told us to do, and it was too late. And she did not make it through the night, Sunday night. And so we lost their mother, which we had been bottle feeding them, but we had them pinned up with their mother so they could at least be together. So anyway, generally, you've got to have a plan to deal with bottle babies. They're also called bummer lambs. You've got to have a plan to deal with them. Which, are you going to bottle feed these guys? Are you going to bucket feed them? Are you going to sell them as bottle babies and bummer lambs to just individuals? We bottle fed some last year, and the majority of them lived. I think we lost 2 or 3. But we had roughly 7, and we lost a couple. But when we culled some stuff out and thinned down our numbers this year, I got rid of everybody that was a bad mom that I knew of. So that helped out tremendously. Or not such a great mom, but anyway, that helped out tremendously. So now we're down to these 2 girls. The original plan was going to be, because it's a nightmare. It can be, because we live in town, the farm's out there, and generally where you keep bottle babies is out there. I would get up and bottle feed them before I went to work, then my wife would feed them before lunch and after lunch, and then I would feed them before I came home at 7, so that was 4 times a day. So they got fed 3 to 4 times a day. This year, what we were going to do, because 50-50 survival rate, that's not necessarily a scientific survival rate, but that's just kind of based off last year. What we were going to do was, if we had bottle babies, we were going to bottle feed them until that weekend, and if we were going to an auction, we were going to go ahead and sell them at the sale barn, which, it sounds kind of cruel, but there are people that will buy baby goats and baby sheep, and of course goats are always more expensive on the bottle baby side and do better than baby lambs. Don't know why, but anyway, you figure you're going to get $20-$40 for them, and you're going to that sale anyway. So let's see, if it's just ate supper. If you're going to have, so you get $20 to $40, there's a 10% commission and $3.50 a head at the sale barn that we go to every Saturday. So it cost me $5, and I get my gas money taken care of. But the bigger picture is, it's time. It's that time that, let's say there's a 60% chance that lamb makes it, but I tie up a lot of time to raise it. And so if I planning on making $135 off the lamb, then I went ahead, but there's a distinct possibility that it could die just because you're bottle baby feeding. And so you're stacking, the odds are kind of stacked against them. So if you can get $35 for them, go ahead, take it. You're just saving a whole lot of time, because if it's not something you want to deal with. So that was the plan. Well, these 2 girls come along, and the nice thing about them is they're twins and they're female. And in the sheep world, everybody likes twins. And they'll always tell you oh, they were born twins. They were born twins. Now, it matters a lot, they say, when you're looking at breeding stock and a ram's point of view, because a ram has more to do with determining twins than the ewes. But what I've learned, because I did a lot of reading, and a lot of research suggests that on the female side, that people will tell you just, kind of like old wives' tales, is she's a twin, but she's got a brother, but she's a twin, so she's gonna, more likely twin. That's not the case. Scientifically, everything I've read, and science has proven it, research and everything, that if you get two females that are twins, they are siblings. Now, they are scientifically proven more likely to have twins consistently every time. So I decided to keep them because they were real healthy. A lot of times, because we have a good amount of acreage and a good amount of head of sheep, when I would find bottle babies, would not necessarily be the same day they were born, so they had time to get down, or you might have to tube feed them. And so, and if it's to the point you got to tube feed them, generally they're not very responsive. You've got to get their body temperature back up to, I think it's like 90 something degrees, and then you can tube them, and you tube feed them, and the next 24, 48 hours of touch and go. And then, so that's what we were dealing with last year, because it was a lot cooler when we were lambing at that point last year. Now it's a lot nicer weather, so it wasn't that big a deal. And I found these girls pretty much a couple hours after it happened. So we're blessed to have them, and they're going to stay. Say hi, girls. Say hey, Oreo. Say peanut butter. So, and since it was raining, we had torrential rains, Julie just decided to set up this area in our storage building so she could feed them and at her convenience and her leisure until I get a mother figure for them, and we'll move them back out to the farm and put them in a smaller area, and we can go out there. We have a mama sheep, and she had triplets, but she adopted another lamb that was roughly the same age that couldn't find his mother, and I've been keeping a close eye on her and her babies every day. But since she's got 4, everybody would say, hey, pull 2 off and bottle feed them. And I don't want 4 bottle babies, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that mama and I'm going to put her in with in a smaller area so I can watch her with a shelter. And these 2 girls are going to go out there, and then we're going to bottle feed her and supplement, or bottle feed these babies and then supplement those other lambs so she can get some relief, so we don't pull her down and she doesn't get in a bad way and lose a lot of body condition and make her life harder than it really has to be. So that's kind of, that way it benefits everybody, and she can get a special ration, and maybe I'll buy her some 16%, some higher protein food, maybe get her some real good hay or something. That way, since she's taking care of 4 babies, then that'll kind of help her out nutritionally, and she can get a special diet that she needs. So everybody gets looked after better, and it works. But generally, you need to have a bottle baby plan. If these were ram lambs, definitely they would have gone to the sale barn, because I've kind of turned after this, and my attitude's kind of, if they're bottle babies, until we get a barn set up with a bottle baby area and a milk machine. They actually have a machine you can put the powder in. It's about $1,000, and it makes the milk, and that's kind of like a little creep area where they can go in, milk, but they can run with the herd. And it's kind of plug and play. That's kind of, I wouldn't really mind the bottle baby thing so much, but it's kind of a real intensive, time-consuming thing, so I really don't want to be in the bottle baby business, so anything I can do to prevent it, that's kind of the way we're going. I'm just keeping these because they're girls, and we're looking to increase our ewe numbers back to where they are and beyond that over the next 12 months. So that's why they're sticking around. And their mother was a really good mom. She was a really good ewe. So I want to keep them, and maybe I can keep some of our traits. And especially since their dads are Dorpers, and they're half Dorper, but you can tell they got a lot of strong Katahdin influence in the woodpile. So I'm hoping they're going to be winners, and we're not going to have foot problems. And they'll be great new additions. But that's also something else you can think about. If you got lots of kids, free time, helpers, whatever, somebody that wants to do it, you can pick up bottle babies at sale barns and got baby goats, baby sheep, raise them out. But the biggest thing you need to do is know your margins and know how much that formula is going to cost. Because I know with calves, you'll spend a lot of money on formula, and it'll be a long time before you ever get your money back bottle feeding a bunch of baby calves. So it's just something else to look at. We're going to get more into the caring for bottle babies and stuff a little later on, because you can bottle feed them warm milk and give them individual feedings. You can bucket feed them, where you just put a 5-gallon bucket of cold milk out and they feed themselves. And so we'll talk more about that a little later, but these are just, like I said, bottle babies. We feed them about 4 times a day. Hay peanut butter. And you feed them 4 times a day, 3-4 times a day. And it's like clockwork. Just, they're babies. They're just fuzzy babies. So the biggest thing is try to get them on creep feed as soon as possible so you can quit bottle feeding them. But they kind of steal your heart, and that's another thing I don't like messing with it. You get attached to them, and they're like little puppy dogs, like little kids that follow you around everywhere you go. But you know, so that's why I don't mind doing it so much for the girls, especially if you're gonna keep them. But you just need to have a plan to deal with it, because it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. So just like I said, if you like the video, comment, ask questions in the comments. I'll try to answer them, do the best I can. Subscribe, share it if you think it might help somebody. We'll just see you next time. Y'all take care.